Hello, and welcome to Care Partner Q&A Mondays at the Inspired Memory Care Training, Education, and Resource Center at the 80th Street Residence. Hi, I'm Nettie Harper, and I'm here with
Kelly Gilligan.
And we're coming to you live from the Upper East Side of Manhattan.
We meet here at the 80th Street Residence with our team of professional and family care partners and with the folks who live here for focus groups, pilot testing, and feedback. It's our pleasure to present Care Partner Q&A Mondays as an initiative of the Training, Education, and Resource Center. Please, if you have a topic you're interested in discussing, feel free to type it into the comments section or email us at info@inspiredmemorycare.com.
So we're here this afternoon with Jackie Pinkowitz of the Dementia Action Alliance, and it's an organization that Nettie and I have tremendous respect for, and that has done some wonderful things for individuals living with cognitive change. And we are so excited to have you here today, Jackie. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you.
Would you be willing to tell our viewers a little bit about how the Dementia Action Alliance kind of came into existence?
Absolutely. In 1996, I was a co-founder with Karen Love of an organization called CCAL, Advancing Person-Centered Living. But as the years went on, we recognized that we were kind of changing our focus of the organization to really try to reflect how important our commitment was to helping individuals and families living with dementia. So we officially changed the name of the organization to DAA. And it certainly is more appropriate because Dementia Action Alliance is a national nonprofit organization, and it's for advocacy and education for people living with dementia and care partners, families, friends, dementia experts, organizations, companies, and communities. You can see it's very diverse. And we're all focused on truly creating a better, more inclusive, understanding world for those living with dementia. And we often say that DAA is totally powered by people with purpose, and that's the purpose.
I love that purpose, and I love the way that your mission has kind of evolved over the years and all of the amazing things that you're doing as a result of that.
Well, we are involved with all of the above constituents that I mentioned. We also collaborate with national and international organizations. And I have to tell you that since COVID-related has created such social isolation, it's harming so many residents in nursing homes, assisted living, those living at home. We actually brought together last month leaders from 30 national and international organizations to determine how we could potentially alleviate some of that social isolation. And we're going to be creating a virtual online engagement project with lots of different activities from mid-October to early December. So I'll have to keep you posted.
Yeah, please do that. We know engagement is so important, and certainly that's a passion of ours as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Jackie, for sharing so much already. Just a few more questions. How is the Dementia Action Alliance unique from other organizations supporting care partners living through dementia?
I have to say that I believe DAA is unique because we do not focus on research for the cure. We recognize that a lot of organizations are doing a wonderful job focusing on that. But we wanted to focus on enabling and empowering and engaging people and families wherever they live, whether it's in a facility or at home. And so I think some of the best ways that we look at helping people is for them to understand that it's not all about medical kinds of interventions. Studies have shown how very important it is for individuals to be involved, empowered, engaged in their own communities and accepted, for all of the talents and abilities that they have. So we really use what I would say is a kind of a proactive mindset to say, you're living with symptoms, but that's not all that your life is about. Engage in things that matter to you. What matters? What makes you have a sense of purpose and achievement and maintain a strong social network? And you two obviously understand that so well because you help families to do that.
Thank you, Jackie. And yes, we were definitely, so moved when we were connected ourselves to the Dementia Action Alliance because, what you're saying about just being empowered and engaged, that's so often what we practice in, when we're connecting with individuals living with some sort of cognitive change. And also in any of our public trainings, we're constantly saying, there's still life to live, and your statement of what matters most. We are consistently bringing that to our training. We need to make sure that we are still bringing into our lives what matters most to you right now.
Absolutely. And it's so important because coming out of a disability background was a big help for me, because even when I was a care partner for my mom, I recognized how important it was for her to enhance her personhood and what she enjoyed, and to promote, I think we promote purpose and hope for everyone. I just want to share with you one sentence, if I can, from our website. Sure. And it says, the DAA website, where people come together to exchange ideas, form friendships, and create a better world in which to live with dementia. I think that's a pretty good mission.
And I think that just captures everything right there. That we're just, all of us coming together and really spreading that word of hope.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
One of the things, Jackie, that I think makes the DAA so powerful and that really shows how you live that mission and how it's kind of embedded in your everyday practice is the Dementia Advisory Board. Can you share a little bit with our viewers about the individuals that are on the Dementia Advisory Board?
Absolutely. The advisory board was created to have individuals who are living with early, moderate symptoms of dementia to really be what I'm calling our North Stars. It's not good enough to say that you have values and principles. You have to have actions that follow those values and principles. And so the individuals, they live all over the country because obviously we're virtual. They are our gatekeepers because they understand that what they want to accomplish is the whole concept of nothing about us without us. And that means their viewpoints, their understanding and perspective is critical for us to be able to ensure that we are following the mission of DAA.
Yeah, I absolutely love that mantra that they've kind of come up with. And I also think, in hearing the members of the advisory board speak, and they have such varied experiences in terms
Absolutely.
also in terms of the forms of dementia that they have. And that's another thing I truly appreciate about how you live the mission and how you serve is you have these kind of integrated viewpoints of so many different people and so many different forms of dementia. And sometimes people can't always relate to others that might have Alzheimer's disease, or another person might have dementia with bodies. And you kind of have brought everyone together in this collaboration, and it's really it's quite something. So thank you for that.
What we really recognize, and I guess I recognize it from my special ed background, is that everyone truly is an individual, and they have different interests and desires. And that's what we utilize in the advisory board. So, some of the board members love creating the videos, and others absolutely love going out and speaking at communities and all. We can't do that now, but we're doing it virtually. And I just think that it's so important to recognize that every person has their own personal desires and interests, things that truly make them feel like they're being successful in living their lives. And that's what we try to accomplish.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jackie.
I think you do it well. I just wanted to mention that. You bring the people on your board bring so much value in such a meaningful way. And I think there's something to be said for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Jackie, are there any special programs or events you are particularly excited about that you don't mind sharing with the viewers?
No, I don't mind sharing at all. I want to say that we really have struggled a little bit this year because all of our people who are on the advisory board and the speakers bureau, all living with dementia symptoms, they loved going out across the country, doing caring community conversations. And either they would come with me or with Karen Love, but they were the ones that were so inspiring and so insightful. And I know they, like we miss those interactions. So we have done a really, really good job of having extra kinds of meetings and all, and discussion groups for people to be able to join with them. So for example, there's weekly dementia discussions that are planned and hosted by the advisory board members. They also added a new faith, hope, and love discussion on Fridays. Again, everyone's welcome to join on Zoom. And then we have a few members who host, produce, and edit two monthly podcasts featuring guest interviews. And one is This Dementia Life, and the other is Professional Insights. And I encourage people to go on the website, daanow.org. There's so much for them to be able to look at and to review. In 2017 and again in 2019, we actually planned and have held 2 national conferences with hundreds of people attending. But the people who planned it and the ones who were speaking, those were the people living with dementia symptoms. So that when everyone got to the conference, they kind of realized that, they were able to, I think they were able to change their perception of what it means to live with dementia. And in both conferences, we had art festivals. And the only people that were able to submit the most magnificent art I've ever seen were people living with dementia. They didn't have to be members of DAA because they were from all over the country. And it just warmed my heart because so many of the attendees, I think, maybe for the first time, took a very different view. They took a very different view of people who are living with dementia. That's just, that's one little aspect of your being. But there's so many other aspects to get to know people and to understand. And if you help them and encourage them to bring forth their talents and the things they enjoy doing, well, then I think you're really accomplishing something meaningful.
Absolutely, Jackie. And I know Kelly and I have had the honor to hear actually multiple times at this point, many of your advisory board, participants. And I have to say, it does change your perception, your perspective. It is moving. It is absolutely one of the best educations that you can receive. They're living with the disease. So who better than them to teach us?
That's right.
And I have to say this organization has been absolutely wonderful for Kelly and I to be aware of. And we've been able to connect many of our clients with this organization. And they have had just a tremendous amount of support. And they've been very thankful to be connected to this organization. So I'm so grateful that you all came together and created this organization.
Oh, thank you. One of the most important things that came out of the 2019 conference was our partnership with the PBS affiliate, Community Idea Station. And they created this amazing documentary, Revolutionizing Dementia Care. We helped them to determine what assisted living places and homes to go to around the country. And I just want to highlight that it is on the website because it's an amazing opportunity for people to just sit and watch how many different kinds of communities are making people's lives better. It's not that hard, but it does take a certain mindset. And so rather than having one view of, people who are elderly and late stage, you can see all of the amazing people and what they are doing and accomplishing and how they are helping the greater community where they live. They go out and they make dog biscuits. And it's just awesome. It's just so inspiring. So I really think that maybe some people would like to spend a little bit of time on the website. I think there's a lot there.
And Jackie, just so you're aware, I went ahead and typed in the website into the comment section and also links to the podcast, which I myself, when I take my morning walk by the water, I listen to Chuck, who is, part of collaborating with the podcast interview. Right. And I have to tell you, I've learned so many things and It is amazing. So I highly personally recommend those podcasts and both of them. I listen to both of them.
I'm glad.
Yeah. All right. So I will put those links are posted in there, and then we'll also put a link to the revolution. Can you say that one more time? It was revolution.
It was Revolutionizing Dementia Care.
Okay. So I'll make sure that is also here in the comment section as well. Thank you.
Great. Sure.
All right. So Jackie, I think people are hopefully getting a sense of how vital DAA is as a resource. And I do want to just add, especially what Nettie and I have found, one of my clients who was in the earlier stages said, it's time for me to find my tribe. And I thought to myself, that's really powerful. She wants to be connected to a group of her peers who are also living with cognitive change. And I think when people are going through a new diagnosis, a lot of them, what I've found in my practice, and I think Nettie and Jackie, you might agree, is that there's this sense of trying to understand, cope with this feeling of I'm less than I used to be. And I think what I've heard from so many people in the DAA who've gone through the process and who've kind of come out on the other side is, I'm not less than, I'm other. I have this enhanced creativity, or I have, this other skill that I never had the opportunity to nourish throughout my life. And I think, as you said, it's a message of hope. And I think it's extremely important for people undergoing a new diagnosis to be connected to that message. And so if we had an individual who was newly diagnosed or who was going through kind of living with cognitive change, how would I best get them in touch with you and with the DAA and the organization?
I think it would be easiest if they would contact me directly. I'm board chair of DAA, and I love talking with anyone who wants to talk about it. My email is all lowercase jpinkowitz@gmail.com. And they can call me at 732-212-9036. If I'm not available, please leave your number. I will be delighted to return the call.
Okay, excellent. Nettie's typing that in the chat box. And Jackie, would you say the same thing for a care partner that wanted to be connected to the DAA?
Absolutely. My life began as a special needs educator. So I knew that every person was differently abled. Then I became a care partner for my mom and tried very hard to help her really live. And so I think it's so important that we look beyond labels. I don't like labels. I like getting to know the person, what matters to them, what makes them feel alive, and what's meaningful. And that, I think, is one of the best things that DAA does.
And I think we agree 100% with you on that.
Thank you.
And Jackie, I heard recently at a training I attended that labels are made for clothing, not for people.
Oh, I love that.
It's not mine.
But it's true. It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I've spent my whole life saying, it's not good enough to be open-minded. You have to be open-minded and open-hearted. And I think that's a really good way to live.
I agree. And Jackie, I have to say, we are so blessed to have you here. I know that, being here on this episode is really going to help, more people connect with the DAA, and it's such a needed resource. And
Good.
you certainly have really pulled so many individuals together and have really supported them in finding hope.
Yeah. And in finding their pathways of opportunity, what's important to them, because every single person has their own path to follow. And I'm just a person that believes that our lives are meant to be journeys of learning. So if we can help do that, that's pretty good.
So Jackie, I know you mentioned earlier that there's just such a spectrum of cognitive abilities that people have and strengths that they have. And you mentioned a little bit about older adults that might be a bit more progressed in the disease. And I just want to say that I think for individuals and families who do get connected to the DAA early on in their progression, it really can change the course of how the entire experience looks for them, from beginning to the later stages. And it's just such a beautiful community of support. And I know people have really built long-lasting friendships that last through the cognitive change and last through the changes in the care process for care partners. And so I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that vital work that you're doing and thank you for it. And also to thank you for your time today sharing about the organization.
Oh, it was my pleasure, my absolute pleasure. Thank you for all you guys are doing. Wonderful, just wonderful.
Thanks, Jackie. All right, so the contact information is in the chat box, and what we're going to do is invite people, if they do have questions or they'd like to learn more about the DAA, to contact us through that chat box, and we will certainly be available to answer your questions. All right, thank you so much, Jackie. You have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Good. Take
Thank
care.
you, Jackie.
Bye-bye.
Bye. This concludes our episode for today. We want to give another thank you to Jackie Pinkowitz from Dementia Action Alliance. To further connect with us, please feel free to visit our website at www.inspiredmemorycare.com. If you have any questions you'd like us to center an episode around, please feel free to send us an email through our website, or you can email us directly at info@inspiredmemorycare.com. We would love to hear your questions, and we can have an episode around your question or a topic of interest for you. If you'd like to learn more about our on-demand webinars or learn about our subscription activity programming or our certification program, please feel free to visit our website that's listed here. To learn more about the 80th Street residents, please visit their website and feel free to ask them about a virtual tour. Now, coming up next is Family Celebrations, Maintaining Safety and Connection Through a Time of Physical Distancing. We will be airing this episode on November 9th. Please join us and stay inspired.